Yo, good evening, my friends. It is Draft for Upside and FantasyFootballBlueprint.com. I am Johnny Danger. With me, Chris Emmerich. No Mark tonight. He's got a real job. It's boring. I don't know what's up with that. How you doing, Chris?
Doing good. Ready to rock and roll. Get to take a look at this slate. I briefly looked at it, but not enough to form any type of opinions except for one small one, which we'll talk about. But I want this to be as organic as possible.
For sure. Have you paid any attention to the World Series that concluded last night?
Not really.
Not really?
I bet like two of the games. Played a little DFS, but there were a couple nights I had it on the second TV. Baseball is good to have on the second TV because
heck yeah, it is.
It's actually better to be quite honest.
Yeah, had a crazy game at the ending where the dude biffed the ball 2 games ago. Biffed the ball in the outfield, then threw to the cutoff man, and then the guy rounding the third base fell in the dirt. And so the catcher thought he was trying to tag him and spun around too fast, lost the ball, and then the guy just walked in. That was awesome.
Yeah, I did see that. I've been going to bed relatively early. I don't know what's going on with my sleep schedule from week to week, but right now I'm going to bed at like 10, 11, waking up at 8, and feeling tired at the end of the day, whereas I used to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning and go to bed at 11. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think I drink as much caffeine, and I certainly don't take as many naps.
I love it, man. So I won 50 cents on a freebie ticket on that Monday night showdown. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, hey, that was I ended up passing out on Sunday, and I was really, really excited to maybe wake up from almost a blackout night and have a surprise on my phone. It was better than nothing, but it wasn't anything fantastic. I had a lot of DK Metcalf, and yeah.
That's too bad, man. I had a bunch of Lockett. Of course, was only playing in free contests, so I didn't really win anything. Won like 50 cents, but not bad when you're playing all free rolls. It's all good. So now I have like $1.04 to attack. Maybe Thursday, maybe the main slate. We'll see.
Yeah, there you go.
I like it. Share here.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple good lineups. I had 3 of them score over 200 with like almost no Devontae Adams. So. No James Robinson, but I did have some Tyler Lockett in there, Christian Kirk. If you looked at the write-up, my quarterbacks were 3 of the top 4. Joe Burrow, Herbert, and then my boy Kyler Murray. So really like Keenan Allen. So I had a lot of the pieces, but there were a couple guys that just kind of let me down. DK Metcalf being kind of one of those that I had in a lot of places.
Yeah, too bad you didn't get like 24 points for that. Pick 6 stopping rundown. That was epic.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the mic'd up Buda Baker clip where he's like, how did he catch me?
So, well, anyways. So Thursday night, man. Thursday night's a pretty exciting game. We've had a lot of duds kind of Thursday night, but there could be some offensive fireworks for this Falcons and Panthers game. Are you excited for it?
A little bit not excited because I do have Mike Davis on my best season-long team, and I think Christian McCaffrey is going to come back to a level, at least initially, that's going to kind of eliminate his effectiveness, and it's going to kind of suck. So it should be an interesting kind of showdown slate. As we've kind of identified, the way that I want to go almost entirely right now is 5-1 builds. They're winning just as much as 4-2 builds, but at just a fraction of the ownership. So to get that type of leverage is kind of what I'm going to do is build, 5 5-1s and then 2 4-2s and then 2 5-1s and 1 4-2.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot about that. 4-2 being kind of the most winner, 5-1s coming in there. What about cash games? I know you don't play cash games, but you still think cash games are good to split them? Because I know a lot of people play 50-50 on these showdowns just to have some action and get a chance of doubling their money.
I think the 4-2 is a little bit more viable at that point. You're not looking at that volatility from the 5-1, the 4-2, or a 3-3 probably is fine. I haven't looked at in depth at that. So I think you can use your kickers a lot more than you could otherwise.
Yeah, I love to play those kickers. You got Sly kicking too. He's averaging like 10, 11 points a game.
Yeah.
I think it could happen. So the McCaffrey's not coming back this week, though. Is he coming back this week?
Yeah, I mean, he's coming off IR. He can come back.
Oh, for some reason. Because he's not in my props thing. Maybe it's just because it's an unknown.
He's
Davis Mike Davis isn't in there
either.
either. So.
Yeah, he's considered a long shot to play Thursday, but they haven't ruled him out. And he's pushing to play. So
nice. Yeah, I'm excited to see him come back and play. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I mean, if he could just give me one more week while James Robinson is on bye, like that would be fantastic.
Yeah, Robinson has been a stud for us, man. So this game's at 51 points over under. Panthers are favored by 2.5 right now. It looks like Julio is going in without a injury asterisk next to his name. So that'll be the first time probably this year since week 1 that has been there. So I don't know. I mean, him and Ridley are both probably top studs here. I can't find a fault in the top 3 Panthers wide receivers. I mean, do you have to get weird on this one, or the stud plays kind of clear for a showdown?
I think it's Teddy Bridgewater, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. Then, if McCaffrey's not playing, Mike Davis for sure. Those are kind of the 4 guys that I want there. So it's like, where do you find that 5th guy on that side of things on Atlanta? I think, it's Gurley, Ryan, Julio, Ridley, Gage, and then Hurst. And then, you can even get a little OZ in there if you want to. He hasn't really, done much recently. So I'm not sure that that's where I'd want to go for that 5th player. I think that's kind of your Hayden Hurst spot.
Yeah, if you're getting weird, I kind of like that Blake kid.
Yeah, I think the other place that you kind of get weird, and one of the things that I've been doing, especially on that Giants Philly game, was playing the quarterback, like playing Wentz, but playing the Giants defense with him. Yes, they're typically going to negatively correlate on points, but they give up a lot of sacks. He has the propensity of throwing a pick 6, and so then he's going to have to throw on top of that, and it's not like the Giants defense is going to stifle him throughout the entire game, was my thought. So I saw a path where both things could be successful.
Kombucha, what do you think of that?
Sure.
Yeah, what are you dripping on over there? Anything good?
I've got some piggyback rye.
Oh, man. Definitely something good. I like it. Let's look over here. I'm going to find... back out of where I was. Here's coming. Showdown. This is what I built. Captain spot, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Mike Davis for the moment. We'll see if he ends up, CMC comes back. Todd Gurley, Hayden Hurst, and Joey Sly.
Can't go wrong.
No, I can't. It's a guaranteed winner. Follow along. Totally fine. All right. So let's talk about... We've been looking into a few different things. You know me, I like to get a little weird. Have you heard of the Thrive Fantasy app? I know you can't play in Virginia because you live in the communist state, apparently.
Yeah, mask mandate and all.
Man, it's the worst. But have you heard of Thrive? Do you know what that is? Have you used it before?
No, I really haven't heard of it.
All right. Well, we're going to play a thing together. So Thrive is interesting. It's a different take. So they give you the a prop bet. So whether let me get into one here, and then I can just tell you. Oh, nope, that's CS:GO. That's not going to help us right now. You like your CS:GO?
I do. I placed a CS:GO wager for tomorrow.
I like it. And the Worlds is on there. We're going to work on that together at some point. Not right now. All right. Let's enter an NFL contest for $5. So the way that this works is they go with props. So they take a prop on a guy and ask you if they're going to go over under, and then they give you like money line. Like if it's the favored prop, it might be like 90 points if you take the favored, or you might earn 110 points if you take the least likely of the 2 options. So I'm going to goof around with this. We've been given the opportunity to check them out, and I'm going to do so. So what they do is they give you a selection of props, This particular one, you have to pick 10 props. You have to go over, under, and if you get it correctly, you get the points of the over, under that you selected. And then you're in a tournament just like a DFS tournament on DraftKings. The most points wins, right? So there's a selection of top-down winners. So let's take, for instance, Matt Ryan, over under 295.5 passing yards. If you select the over and he goes over, you earn 95 points. If you select the under and he goes under, you earn 105 points. So they're saying that he is favored to go over that. So you kind of get that?
Mm-hmm. I got you.
All right. So is this one that you'd look at, that you'd even want to take a spot at? I mean, 295.5.
I would lean towards the under. One of the things about Carolina, they have seen, I think, the most passing attempts on them, but they have the fifth lowest yards per pass, or maybe it's reversed, and they've had the fifth most passes and the least yards per attempt. I'm not sure. It's one of the two of those. So needless to say, they're pretty good against the pass, but they're terrible against the run. So I would say under.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. So that's the least likely, because if Atlanta's going to win, most people think it's going to be through the air. So they would probably need to throw for more than that, but not necessarily. I mean, he could throw for 225 and 3 touchdowns. So not a big deal. So 27.5 total completions is the next one for Matt Ryan. I think probably over that, because I think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot.
Yeah, I think that you can go over there, and then you can still go under on the other one.
I like him. All right, Todd Gurley, 67.5 total yards. Rushing yards. I'm sorry, not total, just rushing.
I'm going over on that one.
All right, yeah, I like it. Carolina's terrible against the D. Smash over for me on this one is touchdowns for Gurley, 0.5.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I think I got to take that. Julio Jones, 85.5.
I think we're gonna go under.
All right. How about total receptions, Julio Jones, 4.5? I like the over.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think you got to correlate some of these too. So I mean, you may even take the under on that completions, just depending on which way you're going, because some of these are going to have correlations with each other. So
certainly. Calvin Ridley, 74.5 yards.
I think, again, do you think Matt Ryan goes over, or do you think he goes under? And just on the basis of that, you do the same here.
I like it. Touchdown, 0.5 for Ridley.
I think you can go over on that.
I mean, I think the receiver that's going to score most is Ridley. I mean, Julio has been a target monster, but generally just has problems catching the end zone.
Yeah, for sure.
Hayden Hurst, 35.5 yards.
I'm going to go under.
Right. Hayden Hurst, 3.5 receptions.
Under.
I like that too. Teddy Bridgewater, 272.5.
Go over.
I mean, Atlanta's just terrible, right? So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Mike Davis, let's assume for the minute CMC's not playing. Mike Davis, 93.5 total rushing and receptions. Receiving yards, sorry.
I'll go over.
And I think I love the over of just a half a touchdown, any touchdown, assuming CMC doesn't play.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Robbie Anderson, 71.5.
Yeah, let's go over. It's his week.
Yeah. Robbie Anderson, 6.5 receptions.
Let's go over.
All right. DJ Moore, 73.5 total yards.
Let's go under.
DJ
Moore.
Moore.
Let's go over. No, let's go over. Let's go over. If we're going to go over on Teddy Bridgewater, he's going to have to throw it. It's going to go to those two guys. So, yeah, let's go over.
I like that. Touchdown prop on DJ Moore. Half.
We're going to go under.
All right. And then the last one on here is Joey Sly, 7.5 total points.
Under.
So what's that? That's 2 field goals, 2 touchdowns?
I'm under.
All right, I'm going over. Screw you. All right, I missed one. Curtis Samuel, 37.5 total receiving yards.
I'm going to go under.
All right, that's it, man. Wish us luck. We did it. Thrive Fantasy. We're going to give you a shot. We're going to see what you all about. All right. Let's get into that main slate, shall we?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
I need a little bit more of this Reputation Kombucha apple spice. It's my friend Eric Elliott's company. Good man, good products. Plug. All right, man. Let's start with one that's always hard fought, shall we? Pittsburgh Steelers heading to Baltimore, 46.5 over under. 3.5 point favorites are the Ravens at this point. Are you believing in the Steelers team? Do they have a chance on the road to come in here?
No.
No? You think they get held up here, huh?
Yeah, this is actually one of my bets for the week. I actually put them all in, so you don't have to. Yeah, I put them all in. I actually had to put the fifth one in twice. It didn't save the first time, but I went back and I was like, I know I had something. And my last bet is one that's shared with both you and Lou, and it's the Chargers -3. I am also, I think, with you on the Rams -4, but I got Baltimore -3.5 here. I'm going to watch this. If this line moves, I'll kind of go ahead and change it to that. But I think that this is a game where Lamar Jackson just has a fantastic day, and part of it is he's going to be able to throw. I think Marquise Brown's going to have a good game as well. Pittsburgh has had their troubles with wide receivers. Lamar Jackson's price has gone way down. He's being slept on here. He's not the most expensive quarterback on the slate. He's the fourth most expensive. Has a similar ceiling to those other guys. This is kind of the take that I had looked at already. And I like Lamar Jackson in this game. I really do. It gave him a little bit of time if his ankle wasn't right to get right. It's been 10 days since he's played as of today, and they're not even playing today. They're playing in the weekend. So it's going to be, almost 2 weeks or exactly 2 weeks. I don't know. Obviously, the whiskey or bourbon, whatever is in my cup with the ice is kind of getting there. But yeah, I think this is going to be one of those bigger games, and his bigger games typically came when he was able to throw the ball and get those passing yards in addition to the rushing yards, kind of like Josh Allen. And yeah, I like.
But Lamar Jackson. I don't understand how he can do it when Dez Bryant's not going to be able to play till next week.
Doesn't matter. You don't need Dez Bryant. You got Marquise Brown and you got Mark Andrews. You got the whole M's. You got the Lamar.
Dude, Dez Bryant was washed up 3 years before he stopped playing the first time.
Yeah, but he can play like a tight end wide receiver. I mean, look, you got Willie Snead and Devin Duvernay out there. Like, is Dez Bryant all that much worse? Like, we're not asking him to stretch the field. That's not his job.
Right.
So yeah, no, I like all the pieces in this Baltimore offense. Pittsburgh does not really interest me at all. I think that this is a really tough matchup, and this is where they're going to get ID'd.
Yeah, I think I've had either Claypool or Deontay Johnson or James Washington in every lineup that they have played this week or this year, and I don't know that I have any love for any of them. Not even Ebron, who usually sneaks into a lineup or two for tight end for me. On the other side, what are we thinking about Mark Ingram being out? A lot of speculation on my boy Gus Edwards. I hate them all. I mean, I don't think you can play him or Dobbins or Hill, any of them. Screw them all.
Yeah, I mean, if he ends up being out, I think that you can kind of elevate maybe Edwards or even Dobbins into a kind of a GPP flyer pick, but it's probably not a place that I'd go. So yeah, I have no interest in that. Again, if I'm playing this game and I'm playing Lamar, I'm not game stacking it. I probably go something like Lamar with Marquise. That's kind of, where I think you're going to get the best connection. If you are game stacking it, it's probably Deontay with Mark Andrews, or maybe even like Juju. Juju saw 14 targets last week. So, I think that's a good spot to go to too.
I think I'm just going to avoid it. I agree with it.
I agree. I mean, I'm going to play Lamar. That's going to happen. I mean, I don't know. Like, look, I might not play as many lineups this week because there's that $1,000 Millie Maker, and I don't feel like playing 5 lineups in that. I just or 3 lineups in that. I might play 1, maybe 2, and at that point, I'm not sure that.
Maybe you just take the week off, Chris. Chris, why don't you just take the week off and just relax on a Sunday?
Why? There's a $1,000 Millie Maker. There's a Millie Maker with 4,000 people in it. Like, you gotta go after that.
All right. Well, what jersey am I getting if you win that one?
The rule is you get the lowest owned player in your lineup, so we'll figure it out. And I just want to make it clear, nobody was getting Fitz Magic jerseys that day. I was saying I was going to buy the entire lineup of his jerseys for myself.
No, that's not the deal. The deal is that you pay Johnny Danger off. That's because I'm your good luck charm. It's true. It's true.
All right, we'll see.
All right, I like it. Moving on, shall we? How about the Indianapolis Colts heading to Detroit? Colts are 2.5-point favorites right now, 50.5-point spread. I'll tell you, man, my first few builds, I'm playing the Lions D because I like anybody against Mr. Rivers. Are they going to be able to get their Griffin? Is he going to be able to play this week, or is he got like COVID transfer? Is he going to have to sit out? He's probably going to have to sit out, isn't he? Griffin Everett.
Yeah, I guess it was 2.5. I saw it at 3 somewhere, I thought, but
yeah, it's currently 2.5 according to what I'm looking at right now.
No, that's
I don't normally bet on the Lions, so I probably won't bet on the Lions, but I like their defense because it's Phil Rivers. He could throw a pick six anytime. Plus, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess Jonathan Taylor could beat the crap out of him, and Phil won't have to throw that much. But the Lions have been competitive.
Yeah, I mean, they have been giving up points to running backs. So Taylor's kind of a guy that you kind of look at here. That's interesting. I like Detroit to win this. It is at home. They're getting some points. In terms of Taylor, though, 6,600. That's that weird price. Anything under 6 is so easy to kind of go to because there's not that much production that's needed. But he's just not been getting the carries right now. I mean.
No, 12, I like 12, Kareem Hunt there, man. It's just too hard to not play Kareem Hunt or right in that spot.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Jones is not that much more expensive, $700 more. I mean,
if he plays,
I mean, he's going to play, man.
I don't know that he's going to play.
He's going to play.
I don't know if he'll play.
I'm telling you, he's playing.
I mean, I don't know if he's going to play.
Pretty sure he's going to play.
We'll see what happens. Anyways, Galladay, man, the dude's been fun to watch, man. What a hell of a player. I've got no problems playing him this week there. I don't think I'm going to stack this game either side, really. Naheem Hines is interesting at his price point because the Lions do struggle with that pass catching back.
Yeah, this game's not exciting from just a pure total standpoint at all. And that's probably why you don't play a lot of the pieces in it. The defense has been really solid on the Indianapolis side of things. Mm-hmm. You're looking at a 49-point total, which in past years would be huge. But, I mean, I guess it's up there. I guess there's not a lot of crazy.
I've got it at 50.5 right now.
All right. Yeah, whatever.
Creeping a little bit, but well, let's get off of that. Let's get into a game that we're actually going to play a bunch of players from. How about Minnesota Vikings going to Green Bay? Green Bay is a 7-point favorite, 52.5. Yeah, I mean, Rodgers and Adams tore it up last week. I have no reason to doubt that they'll do it again this week. I mean, if you go back and look at I had it pulled up earlier, but it's not here anymore, and I don't feel like chasing it down again. But Devontae Adams' history against the Vikings is sick. It's disturbingly sick.
Yeah, it was a matchup in week 1 that we absolutely wanted to attack, and it paid dividends, and I don't think it's going to be a secret. He's going to be highly owned. Minnesota's had its problems against wide receivers all year, and he's really the only target, especially, look, if Aaron Jones is out, man, it's a smash spot. The guy should be 40-50% owned and justifiably. When you look at the price, too, let's take a look at that. I don't think it's crazy. It's kind of crazy. It's 8,800. Man, I thought it was a little cheaper. This is what happens. This is authentic. Yeah. This is what you wanted. It's raw. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I mean, look, I guess the issue. Well, I mean, I don't know if you look back through last year, November, he's double-digit targets almost every week except for 2. I assume those 2 weeks were weeks where he was injured. So, yeah, I mean, he certainly has the ceiling.
So let's talk about the Millionaire Makers. As our boy Reginald pointed out in our chat, that 6 out of the 7 have been won by a quarterback, 2 wide receivers, and running it back with a wide receiver so far this year, which is a pretty common theme for big builds. So when you're doing Rodgers, and Adams, who is the number 3 there? Is it Tanyan? Are you bucking from the wide receivers, or is it just MVS and we're not trying to get cute? What are you doing here if you're trying to build that lineup?
Well, I think he was talking about showdown lineups on FanDuel. But
no, he was talking about Millionaire Makers for the.
I don't think he was.
I think it wasn't he? No,
we were talking
that's
about
what he's talking about.
But the same can be said. Yes, game stacks have done a lot on DraftKings for Million Makers, but you don't have to. You don't have to game stack. This is the game stack. You go Devontae Adams, and then you go like Justin Jefferson on the other side, and you've got that small correlation, and you game stack something else.
Dig it, man. Yeah, I like it all here. But is there anybody on that secondary team, Green Bay, that you actually like right now? Is it just Adams, Rodgers, if you want to play him? Do you like Tanyan? Do you like MVS? Do you like any of those guys?
It's just no. I mean, it's too expensive at that point. So
Jamal Williams when Aaron Jones doesn't play.
But he's $6,000 now, isn't he? I mean, he's not cheap anymore. Yeah, he's $6,000. So you need basically that ceiling game that you got out of him last week to just barely get by. So Jamal Williams, I'm completely off of whether Aaron Jones is playing or not. I'm not interested.
The hard part for me is between Thielen and Jefferson is just kind of, you're going to play one of those guys. The prices are close enough. You do get a discount with Jefferson still, and I think that he still has every bit of potential as Thielen every single week. He's shown it all year long. I just have a feeling it's a Thielen week personally.
Yeah, the only question there is he's going to probably draw a lot more coverage from Jair Alexander, who's arguably the best corner in the league right now. So yeah, he went off in week 1, but I mean that was all late, and that was off the back of 2 touchdowns. So you're really hoping for 2 touchdowns from him to be able to do something like that. So I don't think Jefferson had emerged within the team, within the confidence in Kirk Cousins. So I'm thinking Jefferson is another Jefferson week, man.
All right. I like it. Moving on. New England Patriots heading to the Buffalo Bills. 42.5, super low total. 3.5-point favorites are the Buffalo Bills. And pretty much the first thing I put into my bets was Buffalo Bill minus 3.5. Am I wrong for feeling that way? I mean, the Patriots are just an absolute mess. Cam got benched. I mean, Buffalo wasn't much better. Their kicker scored 100% of their points last week, but they didn't have to do anything against the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, from a fantasy standpoint, I'm still interested in Cam. His price is way down. They've given up a huge amount of points to quarterbacks throughout the year. Mahomes, Carr, Wilson all scored a ton. Yeah, Locke, Grapes, and Fitz had problems, but I think there's a bounce back. I don't know if you saw what Cam said to the media afterwards, and he was really talking. He basically said, yeah, I've got to do better. And yeah, it sucks that the coaches felt the need to take me out. And I understand that like my play was justifiable, but he's like, what I'm most worried about is the guys in the locker room and the way that they perceive me and the respect that they have for me. And certainly that's going to be challenging if I have, if I have performances like this. And there's just, a really like people dog on Cam all the time. And I just don't ever see the reason for it. Yeah, okay, he didn't jump on the ball and he was upset after he lost the Super Bowl. Like, what else are you going to knock him for? Right. The guy's been a consummate professional and a leader in the locker room and out of it, giving kids footballs. Like, you just got to root for him. But
I like Cam, man. That's not Mark you're sitting here with, dude.
Look, man. I mean, yeah. Look, and I don't know if you saw. Okay, so. Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports, after week 1, he's like, yeah, Cam's a monster, all this stuff. It's just business as usual. And then TMZ got to him last week and he's like, look, man, I'm focused on this pandemic, man. People are dying. Like that's what I'm worried about. Football's not important.
I love. He's like, it's just my job, man. Anyways, I'm with you on that. I think the ownership is going to be way down on him because he got benched last week, and Buffalo is a perceived better defense than they actually are. I like Cam by himself. I could definitely get behind that.
I think you go Cam by himself, and I think you can even get, if you really want to get cute, you can get into a game stack here, and you can go with like a Stephon Diggs, and then you go with Edelman. Edelman's going to draw pretty – relatively easy coverage in terms of the cornerback matchups that he's going to get from Buffalo in the slot. And Edelman's way down there at 4,400. So, like, look, yes, by all accounts, we expect this game to be low scoring, but this is one of those low scoring games that would you be surprised if this game ended with 60 plus points on the board?
I would be.
But would you be shocked?
I mean, nothing shocking.
Well, look, I would have been shocked if the Rams and the Bears put up 60 points. You know, that would have shocked me. If the Saints and the Bears put up 60 points, that's going to shock me, unless if it's like a 30-30 close game distribution. If it's like a 40-17 type of game, yeah, that's a little different. But I would not be shocked if these two teams came out and put up a ton of points and it was a slugfest back and forth. It probably won't be. This is a divisional matchup. They know each other, but I think that there are places to attack here, and at the prices, like, are you really going to go down to a Demir Bird? I know you love him, but like he's 3,700, and you can get Julian Edelman for 4,400. They're both going to have no ownership. My model loves Julian Edelman. As much as you can. He's still only like 15th or 16th in my model, but he's cheap. Like it's a good spot. And if you're going to play Cam because Cam's cheap, that's a good spot. And then you can get back with like some Cole Beasley, and then you have all the money in the world, so you can afford Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it would be a total shock if this game went over 50 points, if you ask me, unless Buffalo scores 40. If Buffalo scores 40, then sure, it could go over 60. I mean, except for Vegas and Seattle, I mean, this offense has put up 10 points, 12 points, 6 points. I mean,
so
moving on. Tennessee Titans going to Cincinnati. Tennessee minus 5.5, 54 points is the total here. I tend to start a bunch of builds with Tennessee, but I think that's going to be super chalky. I like the other side. I guess T. Higgins is good at football. Yeah, I guess he's good at football. I kind of like it. I was playing around with a little bit of the Tannehill, Davis, Brown running back with T. Higgins, and I kind of like how that looked. It looked pretty sexy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but he didn't see that target share last week. So maybe you come back off of that. I like it.
Or stick AJ Green in there for dirt cheap.
Yeah, this is again like this is a spot, man. Like this is probably the game that's the game stack this week.
I love it.
T. Higgins. I mean, everybody in here, you're just gonna have to pick the right guy. I mean, Tyler Boyd, AJ Green, they're all at very attractive prices. AJ Green by no accounts is setting the world on fire, but he's been putting up fantasy points, and at 4,500, just like Julian Edelman, he doesn't need to do a whole lot here. Joe Burrow's been slinging the ball. Do we know about the health of Joe Mixon? It looks like he's going to be back, and he's out.
Yeah, it looks like he's questionable. He's been there at practice. He hasn't done much, but
we're not playing Giovanni Bernard at 5,800. That price has been adjusted properly. Joe Burrow's price is still way too low. This guy has thrown the ball quite a bit. He's got 5 games over 300 yards. It's like a boom or bust type thing. But even in those games where he didn't do very well, I mean, I guess there were 2 of them. The Chargers, he still hit value, and when we look at that Ravens game, we don't expect him to. So yeah, I mean, I love putting Burrow in here. And then we know that Ryan Tannehill is one of my favorite places to attack for futures MVP. I mean, like, this is a great spot. And then you've got, it's the end of October. It's almost November. It's going to be a little chilly. That means that Derrick Henry, like, do you play Derrick Henry? This is a great week for Derrick Henry. He's at 8,000 though. He's an expensive guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not like Henry is super expensive, but Corey Davis just has been putting up points. I just love this game. I'm going to find ways to play probably every angle of this game. I'm going to play 10 dime lineups. You watch, and they're all going to be stacks of this game. All of them. 10 different variations. Screw it. One game, all or nothing, bro.
Yeah, I think the guy that you can get away from pretty easily, and This is kind of like that DK Metcalf situation. Is A.J. Brown at that 7,000? You look at the production that he's had, the targets that he's had, and what he needs to do to get to the level that's going to pay that off, especially in a GPP. He needs a touchdown or two. And while he's been able to deliver on that in the last couple games, like, is he going to do it in a fourth game? I don't know. Like maybe not. But I can see a spot, especially if he ends up on the higher end of the ownership spectrum, that is really easy to get off of, and like a Corey Davis run back with in either of the two wide receivers from Cincinnati and Joe Burrow is the way to go.
I dig it. Let's see here. Where's the pricing on Davis?
5,100.
Yeah, that's right. Love it. Can't get away from that. He's gonna be in every lineup.
No, and I mean, look, okay, so let's just kind of work this out. This is like one of those things. So we hit this button, we get a little Joe Burrow action. Okay, we like that Joe Burrow action. We're gonna run it back with a little Corey Davis. We're gonna go Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. Actually, let's take a look at T. Higgins. Let's look at his correlations for a second. He actually correlates a little bit better with AJ Green. So okay, I'm still not gonna do that. I don't know. Let's just say it's Tyler Boyd. A little expensive. Now we go over here. We click on this little Green Bay link here. We get a little Devontae Adams. Oh man, we go over to a guy that you really like. This is just for you. We're gonna go get some Kareem Hunt, maybe a little Josh Jacobs too. Why don't we do both of them? Heck, now we've got 2,300. Can't do both of them. We're gonna get rid of Josh Jacobs immediately as a result. And we're gonna go to that Detroit defense that you talked to us about. They're super cheap. And then we've got 4,100 to fit these two spots. And if we're looking at running backs for that price, there's probably nobody that we can do. We could go to Adrian Peterson. We're not going to. That's stupid. But hey, you know what? You think Buffalo is going to run it up on New England, right? So yeah, maybe we need a little James White for 4,500. You could go Le'Veon Bell for 46. I don't know. But now we've got a tight end spot, 3,800. Unfortunately, Logan Thomas is not out there this week, but a guy that you like that fits the profile of a guy that just destroys the Lions, Trey Burton. He's available. Probably not going to play him, though, because I think Jack Doyle and Mo Alley-Cox are.
Nah, man. You just got to go to A.J. Green. Just go to A.J. Green instead of Tyler Boyd. And then you can put Green Hunt and Josh Jacobs in there. You can put the Lions D in, and your tight end leaves you 4,200. You got Hunter Henry. You got Jonnu Smith. You
even go to a guy like Cole Kmet.
You sure could. What a stud that guy's been.
Yeah. So that's I like that game. It gives you a lot of abilities to do a lot of wild and crazy stuff. But I like that James White play too.
I like that. Burrow, Hunt, Jacobs, Davis, Green, T. Higgins, Henry, Devontae Adams, Hunter Henry, Devontae Adams, and the Lions D. Done. Saved. Right there. Wow. Sent. That's the winner. I like it. If you were listening right here, you just got the winner of the 10-cent dime package multi-entry tournament right there.
Excellent. All right. What else do we got?
I think that's worth like $750, bro.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to take a break after that. I'll be right back.
All right. Fair.
Drink refill time.
Drink and refills. Well, in the meantime, you can catch us at draftforupside.com. You can find our paid content at fantasyfootballblueprint.com. We have been doing all kinds of fun stuff with PrizePicks, with Thrive Fantasy now. So we're trying all kinds of different games besides DraftKings and FanDuel. We have seasonal information in there. We've got DFS stuff. We've got your Vegas betting odds articles. I don't know if Chris can hear me because he probably can't, because he probably unplugged his headphones. So we'll go back over that in a minute. But we got Lou Landers, who's almost 80% accurate in his Vegas picks this year. I am just shy of 70%. So that's been good. So we've got all kinds of content there. You got to go check out fantasyfootballblueprint.com. Go check us out. See all of our paid content. We got a lot of free content in there as well. And Chris, I was just telling these guys that I was 5 for 5 in my best picks last week. What do you think of that?
You were.
Locked and loaded, sitting at like 60%, 68% accuracy on the year. Not bad. Normally, I'd be thrilled about that, but then Lou, of course, has got like 80% accuracy.
I mean, the time is now for you. You're not putting any money up because you don't have it right now. So,
bingo.
I mean, we're not charging anybody for these picks. Like, look, as soon as you start betting the picks, like last week,
it's all over.
Last week was the first week I didn't trail Lou in a while, and it was the first week he didn't go like 3-2 in the last 2 weeks. So every time I've trailed him, he's gone 3-2, and then he busts out 4-1 and 5-0 when I'm not trailing.
Yep.
So
it's true. A lot of good stuff out there. All right, let's keep talking. Let's go to a game that I can't get away from both running backs. I just can't seem to just pry away from them, man. Where do you think I'm going? Well, both running backs. They're in like all my builds so far.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that Cleveland Las Vegas game.
You are correct, man. Josh Jacobs' price has just gotten low. I think it's the lowest it's been this year. Cleveland has been susceptible to big games against them from the running backs. I just like it. So 52 points is the total here. 2.5-point favorites are the Browns. Odell Beckham is gone for the year. Henry Ruggs has been looking good. Nelson Aguilar tore it up last week. I think this is the Josh Jacobs week. This is his next 2-touchdown game.
I think this is the other game that, and obviously the point totals suggest that too, but there's a lot of places to go. You've got Jarvis Landry. You've got Rashard Higgins. You could go Rashard Higgins and T. Higgins, a little kind of Ohio kind of meld with the Higgins, and then you could go with like the Adams and the Jones and like
Higgins. This is a Johnny Danger lineup. Higgins.
Yeah, I think you could go 2 Higgins. I think you could even do something like there's probably multiple people like look, let's see who else shares names in here. I mean, there's probably multiple Aaron Jones, Julio Jones. Yeah, they're not on the same slate, but like there's a lot of things that you can do. But yeah, so there
Henry, Jones, Higgins. Dude, I got to build this right now while we're talking about it.
Yeah, and you know what? Derek Carr is criminally cheap. I don't think people are paying attention to what he's doing this year, even in the weeks that he's been bad. And, he hasn't been exceptional. They've been throwing the ball a lot. But, we dogged on John Gruden a couple of years ago. Like, what is this guy doing? He doesn't know what he's doing. But, I mean, it looks kind of like he kind of knew what he was doing. It's a lot. He's in a lot better position than Matt Patricia is. And this guy got rid of all of his best players. Matt Patricia I don't even know what he did. And I've got to segue into something after that. But yeah, like Derek Carr, look, I mean, 3x his value almost every single week, sometimes 5x. It's super cheap.
And I feel like he's my tipsy pick, like literally every week. The other one besides Daniel Jones.
Well, and here's the other thing. Derek Carr is a good spot because, your pass catcher, you can still go to some of those games that we've talked about because one of your pass catchers is going to be Darren Waller. And that guy is going to be involved in this game stack. He hasn't blown it away except for that 1 week, but he's shown that ceiling, has a great floor. Correlation with Josh Jacobs. Let's take a look at that. It is negative, and that makes sense. So, you don't have to go both of them, but yeah, I like Josh Jacobs. Super cheap here. Due for a breakout. I like it. I like Derek Carr Waller a little bit more though.
All right, here we go. You ready for this?
So ready.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Derek Carr at quarterback, okay? Because you got to have somebody in there. Chiefs defense. We've got Aaron Jones and Marvin Jones. T. Higgins, Rashard Higgins, Derrick Henry, Hunter Henry, Henry Ruggs. There it is. Boom.
Sure. I mean, I think the guy that you're missing here who's getting a lot of those red zone targets is Mr. Nelson Aguilar, though.
Yeah, but I don't. Who's he going to – I can't – there's nobody else named Nelson or Aguilar. I got nothing there.
NA, not available. That's what you say. This name was just not available here. You know what's funny is, so I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I listen to Washington sports radio a lot. It is obnoxious how excited these guys are over Washington beating Dallas and potentially having a realistic shot at 6-10 and winning the division.
Right?
They're like, yeah,
why not, man? Why not? Anybody can.
They're like,
be a playoff team.
they looked good against Dallas. Now we know Dallas is not good, and it's like, did they really look good? Like, I mean,
or was Dallas just that bad?
Okay, every other team scoring 40 plus points on Dallas, like with ease, and you guys put up 25. Like, did you really look good? And mind you, 2 of those points were on a safety. Like, so did you really look good? Like, I don't know. I don't think you did.
Yeah, but what if they win? What if they win the division, go to the playoffs, and rename the team the Washington Playoff Football Team?
Well, they have said that it's going to come out, I think, in a year or so, that they're going to have the logo and everything. And it was a nice statement from their new guy. I don't know his title. His last name's Smith, I think. I think it's Jason Smith. I might be wrong.
Jason Smith. All right. Where did we leave off? We got on a rampage there. We were talking about Raiders and Browns. Rashard Higgins, is he the new number 1 now at $4,200 this week?
It's him or Landry.
I mean, Landry's bummed up right now, isn't he? Like always.
Yeah, I mean, he could always come together though.
That's true. He definitely could. I like Rashard Higgins a lot at this 4,200. I mean, it's just dirt cheap and has the possibility of getting 10 targets. It's hard to ignore.
Yeah, I love everything about this game. I think that this is a spot that I don't know. I think that it's going to go under owned. His name's Jason Wright, so not Jason Smith. Kind of looks like what I thought he did, though.
Yeah, he was who you thought he was.
Yeah, he has goatee. I didn't put him as a goatee guy based off of hearing his voice.
Do you like playing Baker on this game or not? Are you just sticking with Carr in this matchup?
I like Carr, but I think Baker's a spot that you can go to. Like, I mean, why not? I mean, they have given up a ton of points to quarterbacks. Vegas has. I mean, we're talking Tom Brady, 36, 30 to Mahomes, 25 to Allen, 15 and 12 to Breeze and Cam, 19 to Bridgewater. They've given up a rushing touchdown in every single one of the last 3 games. Passing touchdowns, 4, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. I mean, yeah, I think you can. I think you can.
Yeah,
he's not my favorite play though.
Hunt's my guy on the other side of that ball. I like Hunt. Kareem Hunt's my dude. Although he just popped up on the injury report again today, but I think that's just standard Wednesday operation for a lot of players.
Yeah, if Kareem Hunt's chalky, and I expect him to be somewhat chalky, I don't really have a ton of interest. Not at his price, and not if he's chalk like last week.
Loading up my next pot. Yeah. All right. Let's take
what I'll say too is just looking at it right now. I was just looking at these points allowed, and this is sometimes people don't go to look at where these points allowed came from. Vegas has been pretty good against running backs in terms of limiting production. They had just 3 bad weeks. You had McCaffrey just go all crazy on him, 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara went with 2 touchdowns, had all of those receiving yards to go with it. It was that kind of that first game without Michael Thomas. And then you had Rex Burkhead get those 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns actually. And then Sony Michel run for, 100 yards. Then you had 50 yards from Singletary, 40 yards from Hilaire, 50 and 34 from Fournette and Jones. So nothing kind of crazy outside of that. So can he get there? Sure. But he really to get a ceiling game, you're needing 2 touchdowns, 100 yards, 5 catches. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Why you got to break my heart, man?
Yeah, it's better now than later.
All right, that's true, man. This whole swapping things out after the Sunday show has not worked well for me. Let's not do that anymore. Hey, let's take a quick break here and switch it up, and let's talk about going over to PrizePicks.com. This is a new game we've been liking to do. Instead of playing in tournament style, you're just playing against the house. You just got to look at the projections, and you have to beat the computer projections. Not me, not Mr. Emmerich, not thousands of other people, not multi-lineup builders. You're just playing against the house. You take a look at their projections. You pick 2, 3, or 4 of the players in each matchup, and you choose over or under, and you choose your entry amount, and you win prizes based on your entry amount in the game that you choose. I've been playing a lot of this. It's been fun. I know, Chris, you played last weekend, and you were successful.
Crushed it in NFL.
Crushed it. I like it. So we have a Thursday night matchup. I love to play these instead of the showdowns on DraftKings. I think that it's a lot more predictable. It's a lot easier to get things right than it is in these massive showdowns that we enjoy chasing because Mark won like 17 grand and we all want to be that person with him. But I think these are a lot easier. I like this game a lot for that. We can go through and look at it if you don't mind, Mr. Chris.
Sure.
So let's take a quick look. So we've got a couple of rules you have to be mindful of. If you take a quarterback, Chris, did you know that you cannot take one of their wide receivers or tight ends?
Nope, didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you're picking a quarterback, you got to make sure that you don't want to play the wide receivers and tight ends from that guy. So when you're playing the showdowns, it's a little tougher because you don't have the big selection like you do on the main slate days. For instance, if you want to pick the over-under on Matt Ryan, then you can't take over-unders on Calvin Ridley or Hayden Hurst or Julio Jones. So you have to decide kind of where your favorite plays are and go from there. So let's talk about it. So Matt Ryan, 20.5. This is standard fantasy league scoring. So you get 1 point for 25 yards passing. You get 4 points per touchdown, passing touchdown. You get 10 points per rushing yard, 6 points per rushing receiving touchdown, 1 point per reception, minus 1 point for interception, minus 1 point for fumble. So not a huge penalty for those. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Matt Ryan, 20.5, standard fantasy scoring.
What was the number again?
20.5. So that is like 350 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I'm going under.
300 yards, 2 touchdowns, sorry.
I'm going under.
Yeah, I also picked under. There's some stats to go behind that. If you go to fantasyfootballblueprint.com and you go under the betting spot or the we got to change the name of that. If you go under the prize picks category, you will see my article breaking this down with all the reasons why I agree with Mr. Emmerich on the under. Teddy Bridgewater, 21. That is equating 275 yards, 2 touchdowns with a modest 20 yards rushing. I like the over here.
I'm going to go over as well.
I will say that Teddy in the first matchup scored 20.8. It's 20.8 in the first matchup, and this is 21. And then you have Matt Stafford, who threw for 350 yards, but only 1 touchdown, so just barely missed that 21 points. Every other quarterback that's played against Atlanta has beat that 21 points.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying over.
I'm with you. Strong over on Teddy for me. I like that. Todd Gurley, when I wrote the article, it was 16.5. It's now 17.5. So we're looking at 65 rushing yards and a touchdown with, say, 3 catches for 20. I like the over here. I think Gurley's in for a big game.
I agree.
I like it. All right, we're moving on to Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, both exactly the same at 18.4. That equates to about 75 yards, 5 catches in the touchdown, or 8 catches for 95 yards. Or where was I? 75 for 5 yards in the touchdown. Yeah, that's about right. I don't think they both do it, though. That's the problem. I think one or the other does it.
I agree with you.
I think more likely it's Ridley that pulls it off than Julio, because Julio has a hard time scoring. So I think if you're going to look for a touchdown, you got to go Ridley.
I agree.
All right, so under Julio, over Ridley.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Or you could even click
Nope, that's fine.
Under on both. But let's look at Robbie Anderson, 17.5. We're talking 8 catches, 95 yards. Another guy who puts up production but doesn't necessarily score. So does he get 8 catches and 95 or more without a touchdown?
I think we're going to go over.
I think he could get double-digit catches in this game.
He could, absolutely.
I'm going over with you. DJ Moore, 16. That's 5 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown if you believe he's getting a touchdown. He's got to get a touchdown to hit that.
We're going to say under on this.
Yeah. I'm with you. We already broke the game down, so go back and listen to earlier in the show if you want the breakdown, or go to fantasyfootballblueprint.com and look for the Prize Picks article to read it. Hayden Hurst, 9.2. Basically 4 catches, 55 yards. I'm an under here. They just don't use him like they did Hooper.
Nope, he's not a hooper.
Not
a hooper, not a hopper. I'm not hoping for it. We're going under.
Curtis Samuel, 10 points. That's
Under.
5 catches, 50 yards. Under. And then my boy, Joey Sly, 9 points, which is 2 field goals of 30 and 40 yards and 2 extra points.
Over.
I like the over as well. There's also defensive players in here if you guys are IDP players and you like to get up on tackles and interceptions and forced fumbles and whatnot. That's not my game. But I know if you're a Roto-Grinders person, they've got some really nice IDP information on there. So there's that. Go check out PrizePicks.com. Use promo code Blueprint. You will get 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. All right, Chris, let's finish these last few games up here on the main slate.
Last few games, Danger. We've had half the fucking slate to go.
No, we don't. We've got Jets at Kansas City.
We've done 6 games. There's 5 left.
There's only 4 left. Oh, there's 5. It's that damn 49ers game. It hides on me every week.
I'm looking at it here. I'm like, holy shit, we've been on the air for an hour.
We've only been on the air for 40 minutes.
55 minutes and 40 seconds.
That's fine. You're totally fine. What else do you have to do? It's Wednesday night. Nothing. That's the answer, Chris. Nothing.
I can do whatever I want, Danger.
Nothing.
I'm a man.
You're a man. You can take your dog for a walk, damn it.
I will, but she already pooped today.
I love it. How you like having the dog running around the house, man?
It's okay, except for if you try and take a nap and somebody opens a door outside somewhere down the fucking street and she just goes crazy. But yesterday, my wife is a little afraid of dogs. A little afraid. She's still a little afraid. Still tentative. And yesterday, she came home and I was walking out. The dog was looking at me. Just woke up and was looking at me, laying down, upside down, backwards, and didn't even realize. Obviously, can hear stuff down the road, but can't hear somebody walking into our house. And she walks in and she got scared. She jumped over, barked at her, growled at her. All of that positive inroad we'd made in the relationship between the two of them just went to shit right there, and we had to rebuild the bonds of trust. They're laying in the bed together right now, separate corners. So I think they're good. The dog doesn't know Spanish, so she doesn't understand Spanish when she's talked to. If you ask her to get a cookie, you have to do it in English. So that's that. Anyway,
I get it.
Let's get into these games.
Let's lock and load. New York Jets heading to Kansas City. 48.5 points basically projected to all go to Kansas City as they are favored by 19.5. Lou's starting to talk me into Le'Veon Bell again, bro. That CEH and the rest of the crew is going to get benched halfway through the third quarter and Bell's going to be on mop-up duty.
When does that ever happen?
It doesn't. It doesn't. But I like the thought. Because I have to play him in one of my seasonal leagues because of bye weeks.
Yeah, okay, sure, but people don't get benched in the fourth quarter. This isn't basketball, so
right.
I guess you could see a path to him being viable for a running back 2 position. But in terms of fantasy, again, I struggle even with this. With this line, it's one of those things that Kansas City doesn't blow anybody out. They'll get ahead by 14 points and just slow down. Just not care.
That's Reed's style, man. Reed has never been a guy that runs up scores.
Yeah, look, so I'm all for, just fading this game in a lot of places. You're not going to get a big game from Hill and Kelsey. You might not get a big game from either of them. I think Hilaire is going to split carries with Le'Veon Bell. I guess that was coach speak. That was correct last week. It was a weird game, so I don't know how much we can take from it. Unlike the Lions, who said they were going to increase, DeAndre Swift's role and then didn't. Jamison Crowder, only guy I can maybe consider. He's just a little bit more expensive than I'd like, but I think he's viable in a 4th or 5th build.
All right. Hey, buddy. I hate to interrupt because
I know we got a question.
But we got a question. We've got a friend of the show here. He is 3-4 and needs some help. Lamar, Kamara, Gurley, Gaskin, Henderson, Chubb, Montgomery, Brown, AB, Allen Robinson, Jay Crowder, Drake, Wentz, Hurst. Any of these people that you want to trade, any of these people that you're high on the public's perception and you think might be on a downslide, I guess we'd have to look at that, right?
I think the guys you can trade here that are going to have value, if you can get good value for Montgomery, While he'll be viable from week to week, he's just I don't know if he's ever going to blow up the way that people want him to. You've got AB. Like, look, you could trade AB. What are you going to get for him? That's the question: is what are people in your league going to get for him?
If you ask me, you try it now before anything happens on the field.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he's going to do well, and you're not going to trade him at that point if he's doing well. But there's always a possibility that he doesn't. And if you can get a guy that's more cemented in the role and that, doesn't have the same type of target share issues that he's going to have with everybody healthy, he's a guy that you definitely, you can move on from. Keenan Allen, I like Keenan Allen. AJ Brown, I like him. I like Gurley, and I like Gaskin. You don't get rid of Kamara depending on, you got Wentz. Who else can you pick up? If you can get good value for Lamar, definitely think you could do that.
Yeah, I agree. This is a discussion we were having off air before we got on about a guy wanting to trade for Lamar when he had Minshew. Just look at what they're actually putting numbers up and what the actual upgrade or downgrade is, because Minshew to Lamar is only a 1.6 point a week upgrade. So, if somebody wants to overpay you for Lamar, do it. I don't like having Montgomery and Allen Robinson. I think you try to get rid of one of those guys, and I absolutely think you shop Antonio Brown. The trades I've been seeing being talked about online that people have gotten for Antonio Brown will blow your mind. So just shop him out there, see what you can get.
Well, and if you can get somebody out there like Crowder, Drake, some of these guys that are hurt on a semi-regular basis, if you can get some value back for guys that are just a little more consistent, I think that's a way to go too. I think you missed your window on Drake, though. Drake's window was a week ago after that explosion game. When you have a guy that's taken 6 or 7 weeks to have a game like that is possible for that guy, that's the kind of the time to strike on something like that. So, yeah.
Agreed. Well, thanks, Levi. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate the questions. Pop in anytime. Follow us over at Draft for Upside's Facebook page. You can shoot us a messenger question there. You can see Chris and I's information right here on Twitter. You're welcome to tweet at us. And absolutely think about going to fantasyfootballblueprint.com and signing up for one of our packages and get all of our information there. Otherwise, we are also here. Where'd my scroller go? Where's my scroller? Where'd it go? I get the scroller back. Sorry, Mark usually runs the scroller. Right there. Watch First Sip Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. You can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, same place you're watching now, with more updates and last-minute start sits. Thank you very much.
All right, let's go into another game that I think everybody is on board with, me and you. This is the only game that I've already placed a wager for.
I like it. LA Rams going to Miami Dolphins.
That is correct. That's what I'm talking about here in terms of this game.
I mean, the Rams have been pretty decent on the back end. You got a first-time start with Tua. And I just love the Rams at -3. I think Miami's they kind of gave up by switching to Tua. I mean, Fitzmagic was playing for them. They had a decent chance in that division. I don't know why they're just giving up right now, unless they actually think Tua is better than Fitz.
It's actually at -4 at this point. It's moved, and I still like it at 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Rams defense. That's kind of the spot that I'm interested here. 3,800 is it's expensive, but again, the good defenses are going to cost you some money this year. Nobody from the Miami side. Like we don't even know what Tua is going to throw to. Like it does. I mean, and going back to that question earlier, I think Gaskin's still safe, but that's a spot. You got Montgomery. Maybe you try and sell Gaskin and Allen Robinson. Because you don't know what Gaskin's going to do. You don't know what this offense is going to do. You don't know if they're going to be able to do anything for that matter. And they probably won't do anything this week. So that's
Did you watch a lot of Tua in college ball? I just hate Alabama so much I can't bring myself to even watch them.
I don't watch college football for the most part. I've worked a lot of Saturdays, I've been around, so
Gaskin could get a little bit more valuable if they move to more of a scrambling offense. But yeah, I agree. I like the Rams, man. What do you make of that Rams backfield? It's you think Henderson is really just kind of mostly locked it up unless he screws up?
No, Henry and Malcolm Brown are going to split. Sneezed. Couldn't stop it.
All right, moving on to another beverage. Yeah, I mean, betting-wise, I really like this game. I still like the Rams, -4, -3.5, -5. I don't care. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. So I like the Rams pretty heavily here. Fantasy-wise, I don't know. I mean, you can play Woods, you can play Kupp, you can play any of those guys. It's fine, but I like the defense more.
I think the only guy that you look to on that wide receiving core is real cheap Josh Reynolds.
Man, I picked him on Monday night. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's easier to do that on Monday night. I mean, but he's 3,100. You know, he's getting 8 targets last week, 5 targets the week before that, 4, 5. He gets a couple passes, catches a couple of them, gets a couple yards. So let's say like 3 and 4 or 3 and 40. That's 7 points. He's almost there. So, you know, he's a GPP dart throw in a game where they probably go up and win kind of big. Like I said, I'm not interested in a rookie making his first start against Aaron Donald.
No, agreed. All right, let's get into these 4 o'clock games. 4:05 start time, 44-point total. 3-point favorites are the Chargers heading into Denver. Herbert's been looking good, man, real good. You were on him before the rest of us, I believe. I could be wrong. We talk a lot in that chat, but I seem like I wasn't really looking his way until somebody started talking about him, and I think it was you. He's been tearing it up, man. Is this another Keenan Allen week? Every week, right?
Fucking every week's Keenan Allen week. He's 6,200 still. It doesn't make sense. They don't have the secondary in Denver that justifies pricing him down. Love Keenan Allen. I think you can play Mike Williams every single week. He disappointed last week, but I mean, he has the opportunity to blow up. And I don't think you play Mike Allen or Mike Williams with Keenan Allen. Like, you don't play the Mike Allen combination or the Keenan Williams. You play one or the other. You can always play a little Jalen Gooden, or however you say his name.
Yeah, man. That was my tipsy pick last week, bro.
I mean, it's got to be though.
Smashed.
Yeah, he's got to hit a 70-yard touchdown for that to be kind of viable, and that's fine. So I love Herbert.
Top 5 ADOT, man. That dude gets the yards.
Yeah. Other side of it, Tim Patrick, I think, is a guy that you play, but I really like the Chargers defense. So,
yeah, I like Chargers D a lot. I really like Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry in this game. Denver plays that game where they kind of lock down the outside and the deep and let you just throw all over the middle. So I just love Keenan Allen and Henry just cutting across the center all game long.
Yeah, the interesting one that I'll have to look into, just first thought, don't have a lot of thoughts yet, but Melvin Gordon.
He's been steady. I mean, he's been absolutely steady. His price is fine, and the production that he gets basically justifies it every week. It's not sexy. I hate watching him play, but he puts enough points up. It's a really safe floor player.
Yeah, I mean, and you've known me long enough to know that he's one of my least favorite players. I think he's one of the least talented running backs. Just has been afforded opportunities that are just not justified by his talent. But this team just gave up a ton of points to James Robinson. Had a big day, but on the same side, like, they shut down Alvin Kamara. Ronald Jones had a big game. Shut down Mike Davis to some extent. Joe Mixon had a decent game. Like, you know, Melvin Gordon's at a good price. I'm going to have to look into him a little bit more.
Yeah, Gordon's fine by me. Let's go to New Orleans Saints heading to Chicago, 43.5. Man, we got a lot of low totals this week. 43.5 here in Chicago. Saints -4. Is Thomas going to play? What's the deal with Thomas? What the hell is the deal with Thomas?
That's a question for everybody in this game. Allen Robinson's in the concussion protocol. Is Mike Thomas going to play? I love his nickname, Slant Boy. It's beautiful. I mean, he's at 7,300. If he does play, wow, what a value we're getting there. You know, Chicago's weakness in the pass game is going to be that, you know,
Buster screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, I mean, like,
the problem though is, like, it's not necessarily injury related. Like, there's some weird locker room stuff going on with Michael Thomas, and I don't know, man. Like, it wouldn't shock me if he was a scratch again. It's weird.
If he's a scratch, I'm not interested on either side of the offenses. Look, if he's not playing, it's Chicago defense
for sure.
2,800. They're the cheap defense. I mean, they're not as cheap as some of the cheap ones, but that's the defense I want to go to.
Right. Sanders is still out. If Thomas is out, I mean, it's Traquan Smith cannot carry the load, and Callaway's not going to do it 2 weeks in a row.
No, and Chicago's a defense that's pretty good in and of itself. I'm not impressed by New Orleans in terms of an offensive team. So, yeah, That's one we'll monitor and we'll check back with on Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's even at 43.5, depending on the injuries there, that could be an under. Weird to say that. Let's go to the San Francisco 49ers heading to Seattle after Seattle lost an overtime gem. 54-point over-under, 3-point favorites are the Seahawks. I am so disappointed in Mr. Lou Landers. I just don't understand how the 49ers only made 11th on the power rankings. It's crap. They're obviously the best up-and-coming team in the league right now. They're just pounding out victories no matter what the injury situation is.
Is this a week to go to Jimmy Grapes?
I mean, I mean personally, for sure, he's going to be crazy high owned, right? I mean, it's a late game against the worst offense. I mean, not crazy high owned, but crazy high owned for his actual upside.
I mean,
what's it looking at now? I didn't load the.
I don't look at projections. They're usually not out today. Yeah. But look, let's go through this. Matt Ryan, 25 points. Cam Newton, 35 points. Dak Prescott, 30 points. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 24 points. Kirk Cousins, 15 points. And Kyler Murray, 38.1 points. You telling me that Jimmy Grapes ain't going to put up 20?
I think he will. I think he absolutely will. I love Jimmy Grapes. You know it. I just like him when he's not going to be owned too much.
He's not going to be owned. He will not be owned.
Okay, I love it. Then I'm on it. It was the first bill. You know, it's the first thing I made was a double. Was like a 5-player double stack of this game, right? I mean, that's the very first thing I did. I mean, you got a guy. I mean, Debo's out. Ayuk's price is good, but then you got a guy Kendrick Bourne who basically gets like 5 to 9 targets whenever Debo's out at like $3,600, $3,800. I mean, this is one of the first things I did. You can put him in there with Kittle and Bourne, and then throw Metcalf and Lockett in, and you still have money to play. Maybe not Kittle. Kittle's really expensive, but you don't need Kittle. You can put Ayuk and Bourne in there, skip Kittle, play Metcalf and Lockett, and have plenty of money elsewhere.
Yeah, man. And Kittle's one of those sick plays that
What is he at right now? 7,000?
7,000, yeah. I mean, a realistic ceiling to 4 or 5x that, and that's great at 7,000. But I mean, the guy hits floor games more than anybody that has that many 30 and 40 games on his resume.
Dude, every time I think he's going to absolutely smash, he pulls like a hamstring in the first series. It drives me crazy.
Well, he just needs an insane amount of volume, and sometimes he gets it. I mean, he gets 10, 15, 20 targets at times, probably not 20, but otherwise he's usually sitting around that 6 to 8 kind of spot, and 6 to 8 just doesn't do it because they're not deep targets. He doesn't get a ton of yak. And but
if you look at what you can build when you start with Grapes, Ayuk, and Bourne. You can literally play anybody.
I get it. I mean, I guess that you start to think about it is going to come down to ownership, but I just like Derek Carr at that price so much better. I like Derek Carr to Darren Waller a lot more than I like Grapes to Kittle. I think you do just a kind of like a 1-for-1 and go grab like a Kendrick Bourne and pick your poison on the other side of things, whether it's Metcalf or Lockett that you want to go to. The San Francisco defense hasn't been anything wonderful, but
no,
they haven't
totally injured.
But they haven't 6 points, 16 points, 43 points. I mean, they had that game where they allowed a ton of points to hang on them, but aside of that, they really have they've been all right. Part of that is they've been able to run the ball, I think. I don't know. I don't watch their games. They're boring.
Yeah, they definitely run the ball. They've got McKinnon and Hasty, Jermichael Hasty are the only 2 running backs most likely this week for them. So the running game might not be as strong as it has been, but they really have proven over the last 3 years it just doesn't matter who's in the backfield there. They run the ball, and they run the ball effectively. The other side is Carson's going to be out most likely, or what are you thinking? What are you seeing there? It's only Wednesday. Hard to say.
I think I picked up Carlos Hyde in a couple of my seasonal leagues. That's how bad my situation was.
Yeah, dude, I'm starting Le'Veon Bell this week. Come on.
Yeah, so I just went and took a look at it. Actually, San Francisco is one of the fastest teams when it comes to trailing, but when they're in the lead, they're one of the slowest teams. Average 29.58 seconds per play, and they are the team that runs a 2 running back set more than anybody else. So, I would guess another team that's slow off the top of my head is Chicago, and I am actually kind of wrong there. So never mind. We're not going to continue with that. We're gonna just pretend that never happened. Let's just edit that out.
Just take it out. It's fine. I don't know how to do that, so
we're live. It's okay.
It's live. Yeah, man. I mean, you pick your poison is a great term there. Metcalf or Lockett, play them both. Who cares? That's who I like there. Russ is fine as well. It's really expensive if you're trying to work any of that combination in there. It's all good. You think this is going to go over 54? I mean, I think so. 49ers can score when they have to. Seattle can't stop people from scoring.
Nah, this game's going to end at 53.5.
53.5. I like it. Perfect. All right, man. We did it.
We did it.
In an hour and 15 minutes. That wasn't bad. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. I'm going to get out of here. We missed Mark. Someday he'll come back. I should probably drive down to Ann Arbor and wellness check on Adam White one of these days.
Maybe it's basically one of those situations where I'm just running both shows and you're here on Wednesday and then Mark comes in on Sunday.
Yeah, it could be one of those things, man. I think I'm going to be here Sunday, though. I've been out of town the last couple of times. I still make sure I get in to make fun of Lou or Adam or somebody.
Well, yeah, I will be here. I'll have an article out. I'm not doing any traveling this week, traveling next week. So either got to do my article early or fuck it.
Yeah.
Do a cheat sheet.
Make sure we're checking in at Draft for Upside on our Facebook page. We keep things up to date as much as we can there. FantasyFootballBlueprint.com. Chris is talking about his DK building blocks, which helps you figure out your core players to build around for the week on DraftKings. Reginald puts out one for FanDuel. And then you've got my tipsy picks of the week. I've been missing the videos, man. I think I might have to get back in on the video stream this week. What do you think?
I think so, man. And look, I think what is it? Saturday night, Saturday morning. When is this? World's LOL.
Yeah, man. LOL, man. Saturday morning.
I've got a lot of money riding on Suning.
All right. Do you want to get on and do a little bit of LOL sometime?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing any showdowns, but a bunch of my prop bets. I just put another bet. Basically, if Suning wins, I'm gonna clear $500-$600 in futures and other bets. And if they lose, I break even. So it's a nice splat.
I like when that happens, right?
Yeah, that's what happens when you nail both sides of the futures. You get both guys in the finals.
Yeah, I love it. All right, buddy. Well, I will see you Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern for first sip with at least you and Mark, possibly me, sometimes Adam, maybe Lou. Who knows? We might put everybody on here. Let's just see how many mm-hms I can throw out in 1.5 hour period. It would be amazing. Yeah, I'm Johnny Danger.
So you're better today. Not great, but better.
Yeah, well, most of the ones today were most definitely on purpose. It was entertaining, as always.
I'm thinking maybe on Sunday we do a little some mustache.
Minshew Day. It will be Movember 1st, right? Movember 1st.
Yeah. So we'll be able. Oh no, So we start there and then just build it out.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, my wife is totally into that idea. I'm sure it's gonna be awesome.
I didn't hear it, so
she won't care. She won't care. It's fine. She'll have no idea what you're talking about.
She won't know until I come out of the bathroom.
I like it. All right. I am Johnny Danger for Chris Emmerich. We are Draft for Upside, and we'll see you Sunday.